What is up, comic fan? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. It's Sunday night, and that means this is At Week's In, the spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics and so much more, as well as tonight is the big Legion loot giveaway. Let's see. Before we do any of that, check this out. Huge thank you to Big Time Collectibles for sponsoring the channel and the monthly Legion Loot giveaway that we'll be doing here tonight live. Be sure to check them out at bigtimecollectibles.com. You can follow them on Instagram and or Facebook to keep up with all the amazing stuff they are constantly doing. And if you need anything cleaned or pressed, hit up our friend Justin over at Justin's Comics on Instagram. Use that promo code WeAreLegion and take advantage of that special offer that he's running where you can buy two, get one free for the channel viewers. All right, so let's waste no more time and bring in my little compadre here. Ryan, what is happening, my man?
Howdy, howdy. I just want to touch the people out there in the world, you know.
You got to be careful when you say that, how you say that. Now, Mr. Paul's going to be here in just a minute. He's restarting his router. But before we do that, Ryan, tell everybody what you've been up to on the social media aspect of stuff. You've been working hard. And then we'll show everyone what's in the Legion Loot giveaway after you do that. You're muted. Yeah, tell everyone what you've been doing on
oh, sorry, I was listening to a 4-year-old talk and totally missed you.
Yeah.
But so I've been putting out shorts content. Today, Static's or like Original Origins went out. That was solid, but the video I dropped yesterday, I don't know. Well, I know I talked about Damn Them All. That book came out 2 weeks ago now. Absolutely amazing. So I did some shorts on that first issue, and each of those hit a little bit better than the last one. But the one I dropped yesterday actually hit 300 views in like the first 20 minutes, which totally competes with like the Superman videos I put out, which blew me away. I was surprised how well that took off. But it definitely shows like that it was a good video and that people are interested. So I'm excited because I thought Damn Them All was probably the best book that came out that week. And there was some pretty good competition.
Who was it that published that one?
That is a Boom Studios book written by Simon Spurrier, and the art is done by Charlie Adlard from The Walking Dead.
So I should go back and check it out, is what you're saying?
I mean, do you like Constantine? Kind of?
Yeah. But I like Constantine.
Yeah, well, like, this isn't a rip-off character. This is in that realm of, like, gritty British gangster magic, like occultism stuff. Like, it's...
Yeah, that's pretty much how I spend my weekends, so that might be right up my alley.
Yeah. You know, if oh man, what's his name? If Guy Ritchie did like a Constantine movie, this is what it would be. Like, it's really cool. Like, she pulls no punches, and a lot of like deep lore just kind of like drops you in the deep end. Definitely worth checking out.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, yeah, you've definitely been busy. And we have also here with us tonight, Mr. Paul from Sector 2815. Paul, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Did I win the Legion Loot?
We haven't spun it yet. Glad you're here. Happy to have you. You want to tell everyone what you've been doing lately on the old YouTubes and where to find you?
I have been doing the DC Dark Crisis deep dive with yourself, and guess that key has come back fast and furious. We should have another episode on the 16th. I also recently opened up everything I got from C3, and I have an episode coming up where I open up my actual Dracula mystery box. That's coming up as well. So nice. I'm not as prolific yet as Ryan is, but I'm working on it.
Very, very few are. So I'm going to show everybody real quick what's in the Legion Loot giveaway, sponsored by Big Time Collectibles as well as myself. But we've got the Cyberforce anniversary issue from Big Time Collectibles, the Miko Suyon. What was that, Hulk 340 homage? Pretty sure that's Hulk 340. Mm-hmm. Super dope. We have a David Mack Twig #1. I know a lot of people really dug that series. Gorgeous cover by old David Mack. Yeah, Ripclaw, yeah. We have the David Nakayama Gwenverse. I don't know what issue number this is, but it's the Virgin variant that they did the shared exclusive with. And then we have I think it was a MegaCon exclusive, convention exclusive for House of Slaughter issue number something. I think it was issue number 6.
That was my favorite issue.
His favorite issue. Yeah. And then Spider-Man Exodus, the Scon variant, the Virgin variant, I believe for issue 2, maybe issue 1. It's one of those issues. But that's a wicked cover. I absolutely love that one. And then we're throwing in a Marvel Family issue number 1 because that not very many people could get their hands on these. They did them really last minute, so I grabbed a couple. So that's the first appearance of Black Adam, finally reprinted.
I have a short that covers that too.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Yeah, 3.
A couple of them. Yeah, they were really fun. And then we have from Legal Burning, we have that Amazing Spider-Man, first appearance of the Punisher, hand burned, and this is a print, and you see it is signed. Where did he sign it? On the side there, and he numbers them. They are a limited actual number. This is number 16 of 20. Yep. Super good.
That is amazing.
It is. The details on this stuff is awesome. And then threw in one of the miniature ones. Got the Punisher skull on there. Figured I'd pair those together. And then I got a Spawn 327, Todd McFarlane, homaging Todd McFarlane in a CGC 9.8. It's just a wicked cover. Got some Spawn in there. I still love those Bjorn Barons covers, but you can never go wrong with Todd McFarlane. That's pretty wicked. Todd after Todd. So we're going to spin the wheel later in the show to see who wins that big one winner to win them all. That thing right there. And then at the end of the show, I might show off some of the stuff that I have for next month, which is huge. I'm very excited for next month. It's the November Legion Loot giveaway is geared towards Superman because this is the month of Superman with the return of Kal-El, the 30th anniversary of the death of Superman. There's so much stuff going on this month at our comic shops with Superman. So I took an opportunity to go big or go home and celebrate some Superman. Very excited for it, but say hey to some people real quick. Early on, we had TM in the chat. El Green Machine is here. Paul Rogers, hello, hello. Pops is in the building. We got Stephen C. What is going on, my friend? Norin is up in the building. Hello, hello. Derpy, how are you doing? DJ Lynx is in the building. Digger Jim, what is happening? Shattered Glass. Hey, Tyler. And Mr. Dale is in here. Yes, ma'am. Was it time to get out? Oh, sad. Hey, everybody. A couple things I definitely want to talk about tonight. I ain't got nothing I know about any new comic news, but season 4 kicked off this week. Don't know if anybody else got an opportunity to watch it, but they dropped two episodes with the premiere of it, and saw both of them. Thought it was a good start.
Yes,
Y'all watch them?
I saw them. I agree. Kind of was Lex Luthor was around for a little bit longer, but I'm sure that he'll be back. But yeah, it was. It kind of gave me the vibes a little bit of if there's anybody out there who remembers the old Shazam show. The heroes are traveling through the traveling the highways and byways in a Winnebago.
It definitely had those vibes because that's exactly what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had the team travel to Metropolis in a Winnebago, the highlight of their twilight. They were taking Connor to Star Labs. They had an appointment to go actually meet with Superman, which I thought was pretty cool. Kicking it off, they're giving us some hope that we might get some kind of Superman stuff. I didn't expect for 1 second to see an actor portraying Superman in this series. And they kind of had the little realization that, Superman's not going to be able to make it here today. He's busy. He hopes you understand. He has to go save an entire galaxy. And Connor's like, yeah, it's cool. And they had a little nod to Connor putting on these little glasses, looking like Clark Kent even. It was pretty dope. And they actually show you with like some kind of technology, they're able to like look in deep space and see Superman traveling. He was just like a beam of energy flying through space, and they're like that's him. He's heading to what was it, Sector 4. He was heading to Sector 4 because their star is dying, and he's going to attempt to save it. And that was pretty cool. And I actually looked it up after the fact. Sector 4 actually first appeared in modern Green Lantern comics with Kyle Rayner trained Simon Baz on the only planet in Sector 4 that is a barren planet from where it died out a long time ago.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the thing I'm most excited about is watching this guy who's going to be watching Sebastian, watching him through the episodes, how he's going to turn into Brother Blood. I am really
Well,
looking forward to that.
it's pretty horrific, these 2 episodes. So they're giving us all these people are having these visions. We're seeing some cultish stuff. There's a serial killer, the Bone Face Man. Isn't that what they were calling him? Just kind of dubbed him that. He looked like he almost had a plague doctor mask made out of bone. And he was killing people in the first couple of episodes. Raven was having visions. The team is finding themselves blacking out, losing control of their powers and not knowing what's going on. And I couldn't figure out why they were being affected by what this cultish group was doing. And it kind of made sense at the end when you finally looked like they were kind of coming for Raven. But seeing the whole plague doctor guy, the Bone Face Man, get killed, it seems like they're in need of a new person now. I guess that's where Sebastian's going to come in.
Mm, yeah. And episode 2 was the end of episode 2 was all about Mother Mayhem, from the Cult of Blood as well. So, I think they're it's to your point. I think they're setting up the season. If the first 2 episodes are just kind of set up, I can just imagine where they're going to go from there. It's just going to ramp up, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Do you think that the whole season's going to be Brother Blood, or do you think this is going to be kind of like how with the last season they gave us that Red Hood angle at the beginning, and then it switched over more to the Scarecrow focus, and Red Hood was kind of just subplot at that point? Have you heard anything, or think we're going to get any kind of other subplot, or is it just going to focus heavily on Brother Blood?
I personally think it'll just focus heavily on Brother Blood, but I mean, you have lots of different things that how it affects Raven. Obviously, that could be a huge storyline.
Oh, that was a big thing at the end of episode 2 as well, because they didn't give her the white costume, but they gave her the hair. She's obviously in that era now.
Right. You have in the first episode everything that was happening with Gar as well. I think, I think at the end of the season, Tim Drake will be Robin. I think by the end of the season. So there's lots of things that they'll little sub stories.
Yeah. We saw Bernard Fitzpatrick. I don't know if that's his last name in the comic books, Tim Drake's boyfriend, but in the TV show they gave him the same last name of the real life creator who created Bernard for the comics. That's
Fitzmartin
or whatever his name was in the show. They said, I'm like, dude, that's the name of the writer.
Yeah. Yep.
That terrible Young Justice.
Exactly. Why would you bring that up?
There's some cool stuff. We saw Tim Drake get his staff. We see him running with the team. We see his excitement level for wanting to don a costume and actually get trained up proper. We have Nightwing telling him he's going to get him trained up proper. Like we mentioned, it was really cool seeing Raven hit that little character development into that era where she dons the white and everything, at least the version of it in the show. There's a lot with Beast Boy. He got a proper suit, so he's not naked when he transforms. And they didn't show him transform to other things, but people were complaining about how much it's just a tiger. Well, they said that he turned into a gorilla, a raptor. We see him do a tentacle arm at one point when they're all just playing around. So he's definitely gotten more versatile since we last saw him turning into a tiger, nothing but a tiger. So it's going to be cool when they finally get into all that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you also have Coriander. She has some new power. Her powers are escalating. They're growing. So there's lots of good stuff.
Chaos, a lot. You could pretty much fill in the blank, and we'll just run with it. You send us the updates, and we'll report on them as you see fit. Who cares? The people. Exactly. The red. I don't know what that is. But yeah, it was a good first couple episodes. I'm excited to see where it goes. That last season, it started so strong, and it kind of just, man, it just felt disjointed. Hopefully, this one keeps it together more. I don't know anything else dropped really this week in news. James Gunn put out a couple of posts saying that he's excited about where he is. He's going to be building something for all DC fandoms and all the multiverse fans out there, and stay tuned kind of thing. That's all I can say right now. But I did like the fact that he's actually posting stuff. That it's not just like an announcement and we sit silently and wait. So that was pretty cool. We've got Black Panther dropping this coming week. So next week when we're here, we'll be able to talk about the Wakanda Forever movie and see if the new Namor holds up. Because it's not Namor, it's Namor. See how that goes. I'm excited for that.
That's a thing.
That's a thing. His name is not Namor in the movie. It's Namor.
Oh my god!
I'm not even joking, bro.
Wow.
I'm excited for Namor. I hope that they do him well. You know, they got him flying with his wing feet. They got him looking super tough and everything. And
I don't know if that's the truth. Then I am excited no more.
we talked about it Friday night. That's a thing, man.
Oh my goodness!
But I'm not excited going into it to see Ironheart. It's not a character that I followed in comics and everything, so it has the potential to win me over. You know what I mean? I don't have any expectations for that character or anything like that. I don't care for Shuri as Black Panther. I'm not against it at all. I just have no excitement for it. Again, it's to take it or leave it. So it's one of those things that has the ability to win me over as well. I hope that they're not like really leaning on those two characters that carry this movie. I hope they really hand it over to Namor to really just be like a prequel to Avatar, which drops next summer, which I'm very excited for. We got a full-length Avatar trailer this week that didn't spoil anything from the movie. It looked like a long-format teaser trailer. I know a lot of people really don't care about Avatar, but I absolutely love that first movie. It was like Fern Gully for grown-ups.
It's not coming next summer. It's coming before Christmas.
It's coming before Christmas? I thought it was next summer. That's even better.
Yeah.
So if Black Panther sucks, we can just go watch Avatar and watch Namor over there.
Double down on the suckage.
Like, we're running with it, bro. So if you follow Ryan Shorts, he did a whole expose on who Namor is. For those that don't know,
apparently I mispronounced it through all three of those videos, though.
He's blue. You know what I'm saying? He's not Namor, but he's blue back then.
Yeah.
Oh man, if you think it's Pocahontas, you haven't seen Fern Gully, bro. It's Fern Gully all day. I don't remember John Smith shrinking or getting a new body in Pocahontas one bit. Fern Gully all day. It's my Fern Gully. I still love Fern Gully. I don't know if you ever saw that. That was a great movie. I still watch it with the kids. Saw like 50 times growing up in the theater. But yeah, it does definitely get that Pocahontas comparison all the time. I can't wait to watch some riding banshees in and out of the water and stuff. I like sci-fi. It's just so well done. It's just gorgeous. You sit there and just smile at the screen the whole time.
Like the 3D, I saw it in theaters twice. The first time I saw like the regular version, the second one I watched the 3D version. Mm-hmm. It is like that technology was legit fire. Like I could not believe what was being presented to me at the time.
Dances with Wolves is another great comparison. And so, like, there's nothing new. What you got? Oh, that's super cool. You found another dinosaur. Now you have 50.
Look, another raccoon.
That's really cool. Go eat something with it. Look. Yeah, you've had that one. So, I don't know. It's just been here. You have another one in your room, too. Go see if you can find it. It's blue. So, the whole thing with, like, Fern Gully and Dances with Wolves, Pocahontas, those are very, very accurate comparisons for Avatar. It's not trying to be anything new story-wise, if Avatar never existed, like Fern Gully was still ripping off Pocahontas, was still ripping off Dances with Wolves. That's already still a thing. So the trick is how are you going to do it a little bit different and better than the other ones, and it is different. These are aliens. This is off in a different world. You get this awesome sci-fi tech that James Cameron's great at designing and bringing to the screen, and the technology that he brings from the behind the camera angle. You know what I mean? I see. But he brings this technology that is just insane. He gets like revolutionary with the stuff that he does. And to make that 3D technology, if you go watch that first Avatar now from a decade ago, it still looks better than everything that comes out today. Everything. So I'm excited for what he does differently and this one technology wise that like just kind of like you just look at it and think that looks stupid good. You know, he really sets a new bar every time he does something. Sci-Fi Pineapple Express. Maybe that'd be a stretch to try to make that comparison, but that would be fun to try. It's the
Yeah, any colonizer film
uh,
is pretty much what you get.
Avatar is worth the wait and the money. To put into perspective, we waited over 33 years for Maverick. That movie was so damn good. Waited almost 10 years for Terminator 2, 7 years for Aliens. Like a lot of great sequels took a long time to get there. I mean, there's a lot of crappy ones out there for sure. But there's definitely some good ones out there. Technically, it's Terminator. No. Let's see. Got to put a kid down, said Ryan. Do it calmly. Lots of concept borrows from Edgar Rice Burroughs. There's, Maverick, movie of the year. I do not disagree. See, Bart said, you guys heard about the X people? Disney thinks X-Men isn't good for this time. They also plan to gender swap a lot of X-Men characters. We're going to see female Cyclops, male Storm, trans Wolverine. It's crazy. I don't know. I don't know. I know that the whole thing about the X-Men thing, they've been talking about that for a couple of years now since Disney was starting to get the rights back that they wanted to move away from the X-Men title. Not title, but they were talking about wanting to do something with that. There's been a lot of talk about that over the course of the past couple of years. I don't know. Paul, you heard any good news this week? Any topics that piqued your interest from comics to movies to shows?
No, the only thing actually that I thought of was something that I showed you. I think it was last week. I showed you off was recently DC put out the 20th anniversary Hush edition.
I need to look for that.
And they added, for those people who are interested, for one, they added a 5-page epilogue done by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. And at the end of the epilogue, it says, to be continued. So I'm surprised that people haven't picked up on that in like media, because to me that means that Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee are going to be doing a sequel to Hush. And so to me, that gets me very excited.
Yeah, and we talked about it too, and I'm wondering if now they try to do stuff in comics to coincide with other things happening, whether it be TV, movies, TV shows, whatever. They want to bring those characters that might be involved back into the comics to help boost their sales for each other. It makes me wonder, because we had that Matt Reeves Batman movie that had that massive Hush Easter egg, and it just plastered on the screen with Hush's father even in the movie, So I'm wondering if this might be like the most quietest setup for maybe that is going to happen possibly, and they're going to be doing something big with Hush again in the comic books. And yeah, I need to go look for that. I completely missed that releasing. I definitely want it.
And I mean, it makes perfect sense too, because Jeff Loeb isn't a Marvel employee anymore, so he's got lots of time on his hands now. So
I have heard from a lot of people that the new Gotham Knights game seemed like it was overhyped. I don't want to say a lot of people. I only know a few people really that play it. There's not too many people that play Gotham Knights in my Nintendo 64 community. I did read the first issue of the prequel book that was available on the DC Universe app well before the 1 month gap. They put that one on there early. They do that with a lot of titles. You'll get them the same day as release for stuff like that, like the video game stuff or TV show tie-ins or stuff like that. But the book sucked. The book was like in the modern time and a flashback. The flashback stuff was fantastic. The modern time stuff was ridiculous. Somebody was triggering people's phone and getting them to run crazy to go buy video games and review food. It was horrible. What is going on, Warlord? How are you tonight?
The other big news this week was that Stargirl is ending after this season.
That's a huge one. Yeah, that they announced that dude. I'll be honest with you, I absolutely love that show. I love it to death, and that news did not hurt my feelings at all for some reason. I've been saying it since the first season that I hope they don't drag it out to the point of it not being fantastic. And if they went into this season knowing it was the end and they're able to actually conclude the show, like obviously these characters can exist beyond this season, but if they conclude the story and don't leave us on a cliffhanger like Terminator 2, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, it's literally a cliffhanger. It's like half of an episode. As long as they don't do that, I'm perfectly happy with 3 really great seasons of a show with characters that I absolutely love. No harm, no foul at all. So especially with the shakeup, I was kind of expecting the news too, so it didn't shock me at all.
Yeah, and Jeff Johns has said that, that it basically will. He feels as though this season will wrap up in a way that will be satisfying. So, to your point, it's not going to be something like the end of Swamp Thing, where, oh look, it's a Floronic Man. Oh, too bad. There's nothing. Nothing's going to happen.
We got some GameCube enthusiasts up in the building. That's awesome. That's a little too new for my taste. A little too new for my taste.
It was a great console.
Yeah, the controller gives me a spasm. Can't take it.
Oh, that controller is really good.
I just never got used to it. I never owned a GameCube, but I did play some, and it was just weird. They didn't use Unreal Engine in my biggest gripe with Gotham Knights. Is Unreal Engine, what is that, like a design studio or something?
Boy, that's a deep dive. Essentially, there's like engines that run these games, and then you kind of like build whatever you need into it to make your game. So Unreal Engine's one of the bigger ones.
You know what's funny about aggressively saying this, Ryan? We were, me, Chaos, and there was a couple other people. I think it was a Friday morning hangout. We were talking about Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, which was a 2-season television show. Fantastic budget, really well done. Great story writing for it, but it got abruptly ended. And I talk about how every once in a blue moon, I'll take to the internet to look and see if there's ever been like a release of like the script for episode 1 of season 3, just because I want to know what happens next so bad. And I told Chaos that I need to reach out to you and get you to watch the show and then write the next season for us and post it to your, what's it called?
Substack?
That, or what's the other? Patreon, Substack.
Oh.
Same difference. But posted it there where you posted your Batman sequels and stuff. But yeah, we could really use your service. So I'm excited to see that Aggressively is going to be writing one, but I don't necessarily think I want to watch the community act it out. I would much rather just read it. Batman dies. Oh, he's talking about the new game.
Yeah, in Gotham Knights, Batman does die. Yeah.
Right away. Yeah, I got that from the little trailer. It starts with like Bruce with his cowl off saying, "If you're watching this, I have died." Saturn and Dreamcast need more love. I remember Sega Saturn. That was like the first one I remember having discs to it. I'm a diehard N64 and Super Nintendo fanatic. Like I don't have any problem with other
television
ones that just never get old for me. I can play old wrestling games on the N64 like for days. Just got up the mountain ahead of the snow. Sorry I'm late. No worries at all. No worries at all. So y'all want to get into some books? I think we're going to tucker out on news. Dude, that Gotham Knights game got people in the chat talking.
Yep.
Cinematic game site. So I guess a lot of people were playing it. Sega CD, that's another one. Wow, blast from the past. I still have my Sega Game Gear, the handheld one. Thought that was light years better than the Game Boy. It was bigger, but it was the full backlit.
Incredibly worse battery life too. It was awesome.
You have to plug it into the wall, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but to be remote, you had to have like 8 AA batteries or something.
6
they were good for like 30 minutes maybe.
Atari, Jaguar, what? Yeah, I remember growing up. I don't think I ever put batteries into it because we had the wall adapter and then a car one. Like when I wanted to play it, just plug it in and play.
Yeah.
Still have my Game Gear and all my games for it. And I've even bought more as I gotten older. Yeah. All right, let's dive into some books. Probably do the giveaway right after that. And then I'll show everybody what's in next month. So at least a lot of what is in next month. I still have like a stack of big time collectible books I'll pull from, the legal burning stuff that I'll wait to show that later and everything. And there'll be some stuff that I'm picking up this Tuesday that doesn't release till this Tuesday that'll be going in as well. So this is going to be next month is going to be a stack, an absolute stack. So Paul, what book do you want to hit first tonight, man? That's the one I have on top as well. Boom. Batman 129, Chip Zdarsky.
Mm-hmm.
This issue was really tough.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely ends on a great cliffhanger. Batman basically in space with nobody around to save him.
He's hanging out.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's how we are here in Georgia.
Again, I think it's a perfectly serviceable issue. I don't really think it breaks any huge barriers. I still think Detective, out of the two Batman titles, Detective is head and shoulders above Batman.
Mm-hmm. This is just an action thrill ride. It's him versus Terminator, basically.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of weird how the Justice League is kind of like sidelining themselves at this point. They're like, there's really nothing we can do. We do see what's up with the Bat family in this issue, how Failsafe has him held hostage, and he knows that Batman's not going to come for him, but at least they're off the board. I think what I like best about it is it had a lot of Aquaman in it. We don't get enough Aquaman. Right. His series got ended and everything going into Dark Crisis, but it was pretty cool watching them prepare, get ready, and then really not be able to do much about it. I like that little shot you get for a second where he's putting on the armor and everything. And then as soon as he goes to fight Failsafe, there's a little bit of bad panel work where like Failsafe swings at him. Next thing you know, there's just blood coming out of his chest, and you don't know why until you flip a few more pages, and it looks like Failsafe's fingers can just kind of go T1000 or something. Mm-hmm. That kind of threw me off.
And there was one little thing that was mentioned that I thought to myself, I am sure that they're going to come back to this, and that was when Failsafe is going through all of the options that Batman may have. And one of them was activate unfinished Omega armor. I am sure that Chip Zdarsky will get back, and we will see Omega armor somewhere at some point.
Night, baby. You think they're actually going to do it?
Yeah, it's one of those things where you don't put anything in there unless you're going to use it sometime at some point somewhere.
Well, he had time travel to make Failsafe too dangerous to use. He had time travel and change the past as one of those options as well.
And I don't think necessarily Omega armor will appear in this story. I just think that Chip is going to use it at some point in his run.
Just obviously stuff that's on his mind kind of thing.
Yeah.
I did like how Batman did manage to dodge Failsafe in this issue. He's actively working for a flaw in Failsafe. He knows you can't stop him. So right now he just needs to focus on creating a flaw in this design so that he can work on stopping it at that point later. So it's like a stepping stone to finally taking him out. And he went to the watchtower via the teleportation tubes, and he knew Failsafe would get there, and he did. But he retrofitted the entire room with the last teleportation tube because Failsafe shut the rest down, and he retrofitted it where everything outside of the tube will get teleported. And he pretty much marooned himself in space by getting rid of Failsafe and everything else. The whole watchtower gone pretty much, and that's where it kind of left us standing with just Batman floating in space. Failsafe getting teleported to the Hall of Justice in another very ambiguous panel that you really can't make out. He just like lands in the Hall of Justice. Then there's just a red net around him, and then he's just taking it. I'm like, what the? Some of the panel work in this was just bad. It was hard to understand what was happening.
I did like you mentioned Aquaman. I like the sequence in Atlantis where Aquaman is talking to other Atlanteans, and in the past you would think that. A lot of times Aquaman is kind of like Namor, where he basically is like Atlantis comes first and the other, the land world comes second. Here, Zdarsky flips it and has Aquaman basically scolding the other Atlanteans, saying, "Hey, you know what? Tally up how many times you saved the world, and then we'll talk."
Yeah, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him standing up for him in that moment. I still hate that Aquaman's not like the king of Atlantis. He hasn't been for a long time, but they just bring that up every time you see him. You're not our king anymore. Like, yeah,
Right.
we know.
Right.
We are aware. Did you read the backup story? They're doing the Batman of
I did.
what is it? How do you say it? Zuranar?
Zuranar.
Yeah, I
That's what I
didn't
say.
read
I
the
don't know if
backup
that's right.
story. So fill me in on what happened with that.
It basically is just talking kind of about how the actual Zuranar personality came to be. This is part 2 of a 3-part story. At least I think it's a 3-part story. But how the personality gets triggered and everything. So it didn't really add a lot, I don't think, to bringing him in. We've been talking about Amazo since we first heard of Failsafe.
Mhm.
Totally agree. Didn't really add a lot to the story, I don't think. I thought I don't know if you're reading or if you read the Joker story, in the Joker issue number 2. I don't know if you're reading the newest
The new
Joker
Jokers, the new
comics.
Joker stories.
Yeah.
I'm not picking those up.
Okay. I thought the backup in the Joker story was much better than the one here.
What are they doing in the
Much
backup
more
over
fun.
there?
In the backup in the Joker story, this one actually has the Joker's funeral, where he basically plays a joke on every Rose Gallery member, and they have a funeral, or a FUN, like fun, and then it's ERAL. Um, and all of these, Rose Gallery, like Bane and Riddler and Penguin and Poison Ivy, all come up and say something about Joker, and he's behind the curtain, basically saying, "Oh, I didn't know I felt that way about me." And it's like, "Oh, what a loser!" And it's like, I hate actors, and it's just kind of like a running monologue. I just thought it was much more fun than the one that was in Batman, the backup story.
No, that Joker title. What's it called? There's like a subtitle to it. It's Joker something.
Yeah, it's Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing.
Who's writing that one?
Matthew Rosenberg is running that, who is basically like James Tynion the Fourth's protege.
Yeah, I've
Um,
noticed that he did the DC versus Vampires. He's about to be getting another series that was actually on my radar. I can't remember what it was now. Coming out here soon.
yeah, he does the DC versus
Yeah.
Vampires with James Tynion. He does the DC versus Vampires All Out War.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of what else he does. I don't
There's,
recall either, to be
there's
honest.
an upcoming book. I'm like, I'm wondering if it was a part of the JSA stuff that's about to be dropping.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I feel like I need to look. What's his name? His first name?
Matthew Rosenberg.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look later. This will take me too long.
It's kind of like James Tynion the Fourth was Scott Snyder's protege, and now Matthew Rosenberg is James Tynion the Fourth's protege, and it's like,
It's like they're multiplying. Here we go. Good God, he has a lot of work. Wildcats, that's what it was. Boom, there we
okay,
go. Wildcats #1 that drops Tuesday. He's writing that even, so
okay.
he's helping to bring the Wildcats back to the proper DC universe. I'm excited for that one. It's been a long
Mhm.
time since we got some Wildcats proper, not just like a little sprinkling of the characters and everything.
Right.
The concept behind it's really cool. They're working in the shadows of Gotham to do their covert stuff and get some Grifter and Spartan and Zealot. We saw Maul from the Wildcats in the last issue of The Flash. Even he was part of the people that were yanked into the the intergalactic wrestling tournament. He popped up like, dude, no way. So
Yeah.
they've been sprinkling them in ahead of time here, getting us ready. And yes, there will be a red foil embossed. I'm going to be picking that up.
Yep.
And there's also a 1 in 25. I think it's not Jay Anceletto. It might be is it Kale New that's doing an homage to the original Wildcats one? It's going to be the 1 in 25. I was looking at that one at the shop the other day. It looked really nice. This is going to be a tough Tuesday to say the least.
Yeah,
Some really
there
cool
are
stuff coming out.
there are 3 more embossed covers that are coming this month.
Batman Incorporated, Wildcats, and one other one. I can't remember which
Justice
one.
Society, the gold embossed.
Not this week. That's the one that
No, not
drops.
this week. Right.
Yeah, that's The new Golden
month.
Age one-shot drops, yeah.
Yeah.
But Justice Society will be coming. And then we got the Batman and Joker. So that will be all of them. That will be the last one then, I guess.
That'll be the 5. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I had the Joker one in my hand and I put it back. I mean, I love that green foil, but the actual image on it looked terrible. I'm like, why is the art on this so bad when this one looks amazing? Like that's
right. Yeah, it was Kelly Jones who did the art on the Joker one, and he's always had kind of his own bit of a style. I don't know if you've ever seen his stuff, but like when he did all like the Red Rain stuff with Doug Monk, like he has like the ears on Batman are like like 3 times taller than anybody else.
Awesome. What it was with that Joker one though, it looked undefined, if that makes sense. It didn't look like art. It just, I don't know. Do you remember those old little, they were like shaped like a rectangle. They had a bunch of little pins in them and you could like press your hand into it and see the image on the other side. Or it looked like someone just held it up to someone's face. It didn't look like the Joker. It didn't look like anything specific. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm not paying the price for that one. I bought a second one of those silver foil Batmans to have to use as a giveaway instead. Hey, baby.
Good night.
Good night. I love you.
I love you. Have fun. Be nice to your friends.
I will try. I'll try my hardest to be nice to my friends. Yeah, I bought one of those Superman Son of Kal-El 17 foil virgin variants that Big Time Collectibles put out. I've got a handful of the regular ones that aren't foil coming. There'll definitely be one of those in next month's Legion loot box as well. What is going on, Scott? How are you tonight?
Did you see the Big Time Collectibles last post on Instagram about the foil, the Kal-El 17 foil that they had?
I did watch a little video.
Jang, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, this was a post that they had that talked about.
I did, and did you see the comment? I told him they need to chill the F out. Because not only, I said, first off, cover looks great. Second off, I see you're teasing the blue foil again.
That's what I was going to say.
Third off, I actually read these books, chill out with the spoilers. Because they're showing pictures of the inside cover, the inside the book of the first appearance of the new character from the book. I'm like, dude, stop. Stop.
I was gonna bring up the blue foil again. Like he just threw it up in the corner there, hoping like
he's teasing it. Yeah, mm-hmm. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I wonder what book it's going to be on. If it's going to be another Superman 75.
It seems like it because it's got the bleeding S again, so it almost seems like it would be.
I believe it is. It's going to be a future con exclusive for Superman 75. If I had to guess. So another book, moving on to the next one. We have Hulk issue number 10 from Donny Cates. So this book sucks, just to put it out there. Like the book sucks, but they did something really, really great in this book. And like, I'm not going to pretend like they didn't. The opening scene of this book was really fantastic. We got this flashback with Bruce as a kid with his mom. He's actually talking about like how old he was when he lost his mom, when his dad murdered her. And the way that he felt sitting in that police station, how he felt alone, how he felt weak. And it got a flashback of him having gotten into a fight with other kids who were calling him weak, and his mom trying to lift his spirits and explain to him that he's not weak. And she had this really awesome talk with him. She's like, she's talking about how she's not as good at science as Bruce or Bruce's father, but she does know about the strongest thing in the whole galaxy. And she asked Bruce what it was. He's like, it's the sun, right? She goes, yes, it is. Now hold your hand out. Now the sun, with as strong as it is, it can light the entire planet. Look at the ground. It's not strong enough to get through you. And he's looking at his shadow and stuff. And like, it had this there was just an awesome scene. And then we fast forward to the spaceship formerly known as Hulk landed on this planet, covered in just a bunch of Hulks. It's a side effect of like stupid shit. They like try to build this whole like backstory of like this Hulks fell from the sky through this portal where they're just like old experiments just getting thrown away, and they're landing on this planet. There's so many Hulks on this planet. They're all fighting each other, and their blood and their body parts poisoning the world, created this whole gamma world. And then the energy expelled from when Hulk and Thor were fighting kind of jump started it and gave it the extra boost it needed for them to evolve and become smart. And they worship Hulk and everything. The big thing that came out of it is they scan the Hulk as he's walking through there. They don't even tell him that they scan him, and they see that he has something fatal going on with his head. They show you an image of his head scan, And it looks like there's like this black spot in his brain, and they're like, he's going to die. And obviously he's not, but that's where we're at. And the next issue, obviously, is going to be what you see on the cover with him fighting this guy. That's not an enemy. They have this coming of age tournament fight on this planet, and they asked Bruce if he would want to come fight him in the tournament because it'd be an honor to get to fight the actual Hulk. And they already pointed out, like, no one can die here. We're all Hulks. No one's going to die. You're not going to hurt them. Go have fun. So this isn't even. That's just them having fun. It's not even in this issue. It'll be in the next issue. Yeah, but I'm still ready to get past the Starship thing. I want to get back to the Titan stuff. I might be the only person that thought that was like the only good part of the series so far. I like that idea. What happens to Bruce when he gets too mad? He turns into the Hulk. What happens to the Hulk when he gets too mad? Like creating a new tipping point, a new breaking point, a new personality that's been compartmentalized in his brain. I like that kind of stuff with Hulk books. So I do hope that we get back to it sooner rather than later. We don't need a whole null draw out thing. This book isn't hitting like the Venom stuff was. They're not keeping people around. So hope they get to it soon. At least get past the stupid implants and the spaceship trash. That's just ridiculously dumb. Hulk is the strongest there is, but is he strong enough to survive this rider? Yes, he will endure. He will endure. I have faith in him. I know you don't read Hulk, but what else you got? Oh, man, that's probably my read of the week right there.
Talk about an ending.
Yes. Mama Kal-El is a savage. So it was cool to get back to the series. It felt like it'd been gone for a long time. We did have that little one-shot special to tide us over. Full disclosure, it's still on my to-read pile, which is massive still. I'm still playing catch-up with stuff. And it was great kind of like reading it. You're trying to get placeholders and like, oh, yeah, that was going on. Oh, yeah, Joker has a Green Lantern ring. Oh, yeah, we're at the point where these kingdoms are about to actually all-out war. So it was pretty cool getting all the place and see them actually marching to war. We also had Poison Ivy show up in this one and gone but not forgotten.
Right, there's a great scene of Black Canary and Green Arrow in jail.
Yeah, them meeting for the first time in this universe. It was pretty cool. Asking, "Why are you in here?" Oh, I murdered an L. It's like, oh wow, yeah, that's kind of a big deal. We also have the big, what is it, where they're trying to parlay at the end. You had Wonder Woman's mom coming to the gates of the House of L, wanting, coming for blood. She's there with the House of Storms. They think Supergirl is the culprit that's been murdered, that had went over there and murdered them. And you have Wonder Woman, Supergirl, and Laura L come out to the battlefield. And they're like, Supergirl didn't do this. We don't need to lose all these lives today. We can end this without violence. And Laura says, can we? And Hippolyta says, yes, we can. And puts her hand out. She says, good. And grabs her hand and says, but where would be the fun in that? And lasers her in half right down the middle. Kills her, slaughters her right there in front of everybody in cold blood, just savagely. And that's how it ends. Everyone just...
Yeah. It's one of those things that kind of came out of nowhere. It was like,
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I thought like we were going to get a moment where like they kind of come together like butt cheeks and like the real villain is revealed, because I still don't believe that it's Supergirl that was killing all those people. Not for 1 minute. I think that we have a Martian in play. That's my theory.
Could be.
I think we're going to get McGann.
Oh, the White Martian, maybe, or the Martian's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting. I mean, Tom Taylor, like you said. I mean, he draws these very intimate scenes, but then he draws these, bloody battles and earth-changing, planet-wide
These
tales as well.
titles are really where he shines best.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Let's see, and dude, to be honest with you, I think that's all the ones that I've actually read. This was a super small weekend. I still didn't get caught up on much. I still have Punisher from this week to read, and Gotham City. I tried to start reading this, and then we had to get up and leave. I still have the Punisher one Blitz War Journal, like the little spinoff series that I didn't even get to read. What else you got?
This is the
Holy crap!
it's the Batman Joker Deadly Duel. Did you read the Batman Joker Deadly Duel?
Oh yeah, I do have that. Where is that? Boom.
This is the
Yeah, I got
this is the
Sylvester
BTC
cover.
foil one.
Ooh, Paul, that's a good point. Martian or Maxwell Lord? Yeah, we could have a
Mm.
Maxwell Lord in play. Yeah, dude, that's wicked. That Miko Suyon Big Time Collectibles edition.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Did you just get that one copy, or did it come as a set?
No, I just got the one copy.
Yeah, that's nice that you were able just to buy one copy.
Mm.
I hate when I want a book and I'm forced to buy a set to get it.
Right.
Like I'll be chasing a specific artist and we'll have paired it with another artist even. Like not cool, man.
Mhm.
But yeah, did you read that?
I did read it.
Yeah, what'd you think? It was a mixed bag for me. Got highs and lows for sure.
Yeah, to me, one of the highs, not surprisingly, to me, was the art. I think Mark Silvestri just kind of knocked it out of the park, and not surprisingly, um, there's the story itself has some interesting there's some interesting things at the foundation of it, but I'm not sure he's necessarily executed some of it to the best. But it's something that could come along. I don't know how many issues this is. I think it's 6, but I'm not positive. It's something that could really kind of grow on me. But from the story standpoint, it wasn't the best. I didn't think.
Yeah, so the art is definitely what I'm going to pick up issue 2 over.
Mhm.
I feel like if he was drawing, like I can see him drawing Ron V's title, and that would just be like the perfect meshing. As far as the story goes, I said it going into it, and I feel the same way having read issue 1. I don't want a Batman Joker team up book. That's hard to even make it happen, and I felt like it was really forced at the end when they kind of got together for that team up. It felt ridiculously forced. Oh, let's shake hands. He squeezes his hand too hard. Like, come on, man. We're already getting like that forced mesh up with them in the Beyond the White Knight scenario where Joker's dead, but the good Joker, like Jack that remains, is downloaded as Batman's consciousness. So I think that's more than enough, and it's sometimes even too much at times, the bantering with them too. So I don't need another Batman Joker team up. I don't need any Batman Joker team ups ever, to be honest with you. And the violent side of it, I think that'll be pretty cool to get like this Black Label, like really gritty story where like death is a thing, and it's a Black Label title, so none of these characters are safe. That's what's cool about the Black Label stuff. We're telling the story with familiar characters, but there's stakes involved. So I do like that. And Harley's kidnapped in this, and Jim Gordon is kidnapped in this. And there's this new creature running the city that's nabbing people and decapitating them. And we see the creature, and they show up, and we find out these like taking bullets and still moving, falling out of tall buildings, hitting the ground with the superhero pose and keeping moving, super strength. And it's a grotesque, almost Joker looking with just a purple poncho and hood on. And then the last page, we see that there's a bunch of them. And I'm like, dude, these are just like amped up Jokers now. Like we have Joker teaming up with Batman and amped up Jokers as bad guys. Like I'm sure there's going to be an angle to it. And I have a feeling it's going to be Joker used the wrong gas on some people, and now his creations are running amok. That's my fear. It's just a Joker on Joker. I did like the Harvey Bullock stuff, that scene we got with Harvey Bullock and Batman, the back and forth. I hope since Jim's gone that Harvey's brought into the story to actually be that contact point.
Jim Gordon isn't totally gone. A part of him shows up.
Yeah, a piece of him is more back to Batman, which I thought was cool, but that gives like Bullock more stake now. Like that gives him more of a higher position at the GCPD with Gordon being missing. So it'd be cool to get him heavily involved in the story. But no, did you read that one, Ryan? That Mark Silvestri one?
No, I mean, I was telling Paul earlier, like it's one of those books I was on the fence about, and then kind of like you're describing here, like nobody really describes it as like over the top good or like really, really bad. And so for me, it's like, I probably am not going to bother because I don't think most people are going to stick around beyond 1 or 2 issues.
I think it's going to be one of those cover buys for a lot of people, like rightfully so. Like if there's people out there that like to pick up just for the cover arts, definitely keep your eye on this series. There's been some phenomenal variants. I saw where Top Cow did an exclusive variant cover, a Silvestri variant that has like Batman on the gargoyle and Joker under him on the gargoyle. I'm like, it's a good looking cover, but looking at Joker posing like a Robin is just ridiculous in my mind. It's not up my alley, but yeah, the artwork is great on the inside.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What all did you read this week, Ryan?
I mean, what have y'all talked about so far?
We touched on Dark Knights of Steel last. You want to add anything to that one?
This issue was phenomenal.
Fire. Yeah, this is my read of the week.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was really cool the way they kind of like were setting things up along this path, and then like you kind of just get like this left-hand turn that makes sense, but also like nobody really saw coming, you know, and what the fallout of that's going to be is going to be really interesting in the next issue.
Yeah, I had no clue why cat's out of the bag with Laura killing Hippolyta at the end. I have no clue why she would do that. I don't know where that came from. She seemed so chill and peaceful, and I don't even know what she would have against them at this point other than just like having a zero tolerance for people coming to her kingdom at this point with her husband just recently dying.
Yeah, I get the impression she's, basically reeling from the reality of where they're at. And like, I think she had been chill because the kingdom was safe and they were proactively keeping it safe. And then for somebody to kind of like enter that safety zone has her responding in a very, intense way. So I think it'll be interesting to see what the politics behind it all are in this next issue.
We got some more Amanda Waller in this one. We also got our first look at Wade Wilson in one little interaction with Amanda Waller, who's standing on the wall with his crew and guard. It almost looked like Deadshot, like they could have been this world's Deadshot. I thought it was at first until she called him Wade. I'm like, all right, so we're getting more characters in here, which is awesome. We lost a few along the way with this one with Poison Ivy.
Yeah, that was a really cool scene as well. Seeing her just like kind of like all out power, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see Poison Ivy like just all out powerful too often. So that was a cool scene.
Another one I touched on. I know you love this issue, but Hulk 10. We hit Batman
128.
129.
Oh, 129. Yeah, I dropped off at like 26 or 7 or whatever.
Perfect. So. You're caught up now. What else you
got? Punisher, right? You read that one?
I didn't. I'm still behind. You can go ahead and talk about it though. Definitely do.
I mean, there's not like a ton to spoil here. It's kind of a life lesson. It does give you like insight into the Punisher himself through flashbacks because his wife is like basically there's like a flashback where his wife is telling the story of when he first came back from Vietnam, and like you get a ton of great insight into the character of Frank from that. So it'll definitely make you want to hug your kids, but I'm not gonna ruin that. And then the present timeline, basically Daredevil shows up at the compound and him and Daredevil have a fight, and then it all kind of like comes full circle, as you kind of see what's going down. But it's really cool. Basically Daredevil like tries to use a trick that Doctor Strange taught him. And basically he's using like an incantation from God to like exorcise demons from somebody. And then it does not go well. And you kind of like get the impression like, oh yeah, like Frank knows that he's possessed and like he's into it. And God should be fearful. And then, so him and Daredevil kind of have it out. And then, Daredevil gets away at the end or whatever. And then you see the God of War and all of his soldiers coming into the compound. So it's about to go down with them.
This book's pacing is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I was about to ask you if Ares was in this issue and what's going on with him, but boom, they don't.
Yeah, they start showing up at the end at the compound. So he's got he's like bring out the dogs, because nobody knows how to get to the compound or whatever. He's like bring out the dogs, and they literally have like the ninjas of the hand. They have them on like dog leashes with like bits in their mouth and everything, like the search dogs and stuff. They're like going through the forest and they're leading them back home. I was like, man, this book is brutal, dude. Like some of the stuff they go through in his past with his wife in this issue it's intense, but it delivers on everything this book's been delivering on so far. This is like, what did they call, like book 2 or art 2 issue 1 or something. So it's kind of like picking up a new thing. And so you definitely get all the like introduction that you got from the first one.
King of Killers.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, this issue delivered on everything you've been expecting from it. No changes, so you'll enjoy it.
What about Gotham City Year 1, Issue 2?
Yes, sir. Read that one too.
The first half of this book, and then that's where I'm at in my reading. That was the one that I was working on last.
Did you want to say something about it, Paul?
I actually haven't read it yet. It's on its way to me. I haven't read it yet.
Small week. Nobody read anything. I enjoyed it. I thought this was.
I had a busy week and a busier weekend with the birthday party.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I enjoyed this one better than the first issue. I think it picks up basically right where the first one left off with old Slam found his buddy's body,
Mm-hmm.
And so
his gun was the murder weapon.
Yeah. So it picks up on that little thread or whatever, and you're basically getting, like some real gumshoe work. There's
old school policing at its finest.
Yeah.
We got a suspect. Tie him up and let's beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
They painted a picture of Gotham and compared it to Metropolis. They were talking about how you have the police commissioner at the time monologuing about Gotham City in time era this book about how it's such a squeaky clean city. There's only been 6 murders over the past year, and he kind of goes through them and talk about how they were all solved, 2 of which were just straight murder. I'm coming to confess about it kind of thing. And that's you kind of see how they're able to keep it so squeaky clean, because they're some tough ass cops. Like we know you're involved, we know you're not talking, and we're not accepting that, and we're going to tie you up and we're going to beat the hell out of you until we work this case out. Like that's old school shit.
Yeah, and then they compare that to like Metropolis, where there's like 2,700 murders or something.
There's 71 murders, 34 unsolved.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah, like the numbers are just like ridiculous. How vastly different.
And that's how reality is. Like over time, there's those dynamic shifts in places. Like a place that's bad is actively getting worked on to try to make it better. And a place that's too good, people rest on their laurels, and shit just can creep up on you and just tank you.
Yeah.
And in this reality, we know it's the murder of the Waynes that ruins Gotham, and we know it's the arrival of Superman that peaks Metropolis.
Yeah. And the rest of the book pretty much plays out like that. Like they're trying to figure out what's going on, and then basically the Waynes have another ransom note, and the cops. Basically, the suggestion is don't give them the money because we don't know that you're really going to get your kid back. And the Waynes are like, nah, F that. We're going to give them the money, and we want Slam Bradley to do it. And so everything kind of goes sideways from there. And through that, they basically introduce another Batman character in the Gotham Year 1 universe. And
is it the Gray Ghost?
No.
Oh man, how cool that would have been! They missed a real
Reaper.
No.
The Reaper?
Okay. No. I mean, do y'all want to know? It's pretty on the nose.
Yes, that's what we're asking.
Yeah, Catwoman.
Oh, like an OG Catwoman?
Yeah.
Is she wearing the dress?
They don't outright say it's Catwoman, but I don't know. Let me go ahead and just ruin that for you. So the girl that gave him the note in the first one, basically she's the one he's supposed to give the money to on a rooftop to get the baby back. But then whenever he gives her the money, she jumps off the roof with an umbrella or something. lands on another rooftop in a very cat-like pose, and then like dances off into the skyline night.
That's kind of tight. I just flipped through it.
Yeah,
She's not wearing a suit or anything.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's kind of like the big thing in this one is they've introduced Catwoman, and we also know that like the kidnappers aren't playing fair necessarily because they like take the money but don't get the kid back.
I'll let you hit the next book or two. I'm gonna make him a turkey sandwich real quick.
Cool. Actually, this would be a great time to talk about Hell to Pay because I know you checked that one out.
Yep.
What'd you think of it?
I really liked it. For those of you who don't know, this is Charles Soule, same guy who does 8 Billion Genies. It is basically a story about hell, and it goes through the history of hell and basically says that hell is not what people normally think of when they think of hell. It is basically a money-changing hellhole in a lot of ways. And it goes through the history that at one point there was a rebellion in hell, and as part of this rebellion, one person escaped, and not only did they escape hell, but they escaped hell with 666 what they call hell coins. And these hell coins have powers that, whenever they're used, you can summon a demon who will then basically kind of like grant a wish almost kind of thing. And they use the example of someone cashed in a coin, a demon showed up. It was a guy that was in the Netherlands. He was looking to get rich, but he didn't have any, there was no currency. So basically what the demon did was it made tulips, basically the currency. And so that was basically what happened, why tulips became a currency way back when. And then there is this group who, as the Shrouded College, who is their job is basically to try to get all of those coins back. And they have gotten all, but I want to say, I think they're on like their last coin that they're supposed to get back. They've gotten all of them back. Between the ones that have been spent and the ones that are still out there, there's just one left. And so they end up finding out where this one coin is. They break in. They get the two split up. The one person, the guy ends up with finding this one coin. He meets up with the girl that they're partners, and they find out that they both have a coin. So somewhere there are more coins out there than they think, probably. So and that's kind of where the first issue ends, and that was very, very high level. But Ryan, you can feel free to, if I misstated anything, let me know and fill in any gaps.
No. I mean, I think you pretty much covered what the book is about. For me, like, I thought the hell stuff was like super interesting. Like, I was really into it when the guy started telling the story, and like he goes into hell, and I'm like, oh man, this is cool. He's explaining the money and the currency. They have their own name for them, and I even like the concept that like basically there was like an uprising. And, hell, like, I guess like the upper tier of hell, because there's not really a devil. They're all devils. Mm-hmm. And so there's not like one single ruler of hell. It's kind of ruled by money, And so like this, this upper class basically squashed the lower class's uprising. So I thought that was like a cool thing. And then like one guy escapes. That's cool. And then the 666 thing, like the 666 thing was a little on the nose. I felt like all the stuff in like the modern world was just like very uninteresting to me. I didn't feel like super invested in their story and stuff. And so that was the thing. Like I really liked all the like hell stuff and the lore that he built into it. It was like really fully developed and really cool. And then the real world, I was just like, Like it was pretty obvious from the beginning that she was just trying to play the guy to like find out where this like special item was so that she could get it, I was like, she's not really about to sleep with this dude or whatever. Like this is all a con, So that I thought was like pretty obvious, and it gets kind of cliche whenever they come back and they're like, yeah, well, they were killed somehow or in a horrible accident or something. So the college like basically gave them their life back, but now they owe the college something. And then, like, the end was a nice twist. I will give you that. Like the fact that like once you pay all these coins back, like boom, you're good to go. But then it's like, wait a minute, we just found 2 last coins, so this is a
Right.
problem. And
Right.
so I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then I don't think it's said in the story, right? It's like in the afterword or something where they kind of talk about how like this isn't just going to follow these 2. Like he has all these other stories planned that'll follow different characters in this world. And so that's kind of interesting. But on the merits of the book itself, I don't know if I was intrigued enough to continue it. But I'm kind of intrigued to see like what the bigger universe is about all of this, because that could get interesting.
Yeah, you're right. He in the afternotes he talks about the fact that this is like the first of what they think might be like 7 different books, with each book being like 6 issues. So we're talking like 40 some issues, with the first book being The Shrouded College.
What is
So
this?
it is called Hell to Pay. It's by Charles Sewell, the same guy who does 8 Billion Genies. So that just came out this past week as well. I think it was a good start. To me, it wasn't on the level of 8 Billion Genies. I liked his 8 Billion Genies a lot more. But I'm intrigued to see where he goes with this.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my other question, because this felt a little like cliche and bland, especially like the real world or like present timeline stuff. But I know everybody's like super into 8 Billion Genies right now. And so I was going to ask you, like, do you think this compares to 8 Billion Genies, or are we talking about like different tiers altogether?
Well, it's funny because in some ways I think there may be some comparisons to it, um, between the coin, a coin equaling a genie in some ways. Um, but um, I really think his whole concept behind the 8 billion genies, and how every person has their own genie, as opposed to there's really only 666 of these coins, and 300 and some have already been spent, so they're already gone. So you have to go back and retrieve them. I just think the 8 billion genies, again, it's just a personal opinion. To me, that concept, that whole creative thing that he's doing, 8 billion genies, to me outshines what he's doing in Hell to Pay.
Yeah.
I missed Hell to Pay altogether, but 8 Billion Genies is a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was my first thought whenever you get to the tulip thing, and I realized, the coin is traded for basically a wish. I was like,
Right.
Isn't that kind of his 8 Billion Genies book that he's doing?
So he could have almost called this 339 genies, because that's how many coins were out there originally.
I mean, I enjoyed his work on Undiscovered Country, though, so it's not like he's I'm negative on his writing or anything. But yeah, it was
8 Billion Genies, or is this the other stuff you mentioned, the other 7 titles?
The Hell to Pay, he envisions it as like 7 books, with each book being like 6 issues. That would be the whole Hell to Pay story in its whole.
That's a lot. That's a huge undertaking.
Yeah,
it is a lot.
I also wonder, because I mean, I think you even mentioned it, but he had said it in the thing, is like basically this Shrouded College thing is just this book, and so the other ones would be about other things, which has a lot of questions behind that too, because I kind of get the impression like the headmaster of this college or whatever is the guy that like escaped with all the coins. So if he's the one trying to get them back, like, does he have other like non-colleges where he's like doing favors for mortals to get his coins back? Or, like that was kind of a weird way to phrase things. It makes it sound like this college is just something he is using for this one, but not the others.
Yeah. And is the Shrouded College kind of like his House of Slaughter type thing, and we're gonna see different parts of the Shrouded
like
College,
other facets, yeah. Interesting.
What else you got?
That was all I had.
It was
I mean,
super light week for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty much everything that I read. I didn't get around to Monkey Prince, and then we pretty much talked about everything I read. Oh, Dark Reign. That's the only other thing that I read.
What did you think of that? Hey.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, I've been looking at his shirt.
We came prepared to talk about Black Rain. What do you think of it? This is, for those that don't know, this is a JSA story that Jeff Johns wrote that was heavily sourced for the Black Adam movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like, it gives me a different perspective on the movie. Like, why didn't they just do more of that? I liked it. I thought it was really good. There's obviously stuff that, like, if you had read, like, because it starts at like JSA, I think 56 is the first book in that series. There's like 56, 57, 58, and then like Hawkman 24, 25, and 26 or something like that, you know? So it's like right in the middle of like all kinds of stuff going on. So for me, it was just like, oh yeah, we're dropping you in the deep end. I was like, this is cool. Like, I don't know who Northwind is, but let's go, you know?
Well, you
And
know, from reading that alone, he's from a race called the Aries who tried to integrate, and Hawkman tried to help them integrate, but it didn't work out, and their home had been uprooted numerous times, and they went through this whole regression thing where they don't even look like people anymore. They look more like actual birds than people. So you got all that from reading that title.
Yeah, like Jeff Johns does an amazing job in this of just like kind of quickly recapping and letting you know what you need to know about these characters. So like that was on point, and then just the way the story plays out, like it's not nearly as Black Adam centric as the movie is, of course, you know. It's more about like the relationships between all these characters rather than like this character himself. But essentially, like Black Adam invades Kahndaq and decides to take it back, which is, you know, for all intents and purposes, the same thing that happens in the movie. The JSA is like, yo, like you were one of us, and now you're kind of like doing your own thing. And he's kind of built a team of allies around him, and so they all like invade Kahndaq to take it back.
Around him, absolute savages. So Brainwave, for example, he was in the Stargirl TV show. You have a Calypso, a guy who thinks that he's like got a Calypso handled, like, oh, it's cool. I have a Calypso in me, but I've tattooed these ruins on myself. So it keeps Eclipso at bay, and I can use his power. So I hate Eclipso, and I use Eclipso in me just to taunt at him. I show him that I'm using his powers to make him mad. Like, bro, are you crazy?
Yeah.
Are you crazy? Like, the Spectre exists because Eclipso was so crazy that God fired him and hired the Spectre to do his job. Like, are you crazy?
This dude like walks out of the sunlight. He's like, oh, sunlight. And they're like, yo, dude, you okay? And he's like, oh, yeah, it's awesome because it makes Eclipso like
he hates it.
He hates it. And so I love it. You know, it's like, whoa, dude, like, what is going on here?
You're going to die. And he does. I thought it was so subtle, too. She had just the smallest little scratch.
Yeah.
That messed up the ruined tattoo. And Eclipso was like, oh, I've been waiting.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some cool stuff too, because Atom Smasher is a part of Black Adam's entourage in this. And if you were to read this book, then go back and watch the Black Adam movie again. You'll see where they hint at Atom Smasher making that turn away from the JSA to go rock with Black Adam, because at the end of the movie, when everyone leaves, Atom Smasher stays behind, like, and they do a little nod to that. Like, that was really cool. It's one of those things that I really liked about the movie, that it played to the fans of the material. It was made first for the fans of the material, and then anybody who else can enjoy it all the same. But there's definitely more there if you're familiar with. I thought it was cool. But dude, Hawkman's introduction in Black Rain, the best part of the entire book.
I just love that they gave the villain like a whole full monologue. Like, they didn't cut it short or nothing. He's like running his mouth how he's ready for a fight with Hawkman. Like, he's about to do his thing. He's been planning and preparing. He's ready. He's like holding hostages or something. I don't even remember what the exact scenario is. Hawkman just comes through the window and is like, oh, okay, cool. And like just throws an axe and chops off his arm and like basically like steps on him, like crushes his head. Just like walks right through the blood. And then he shows up at like this banquet party that the JSA is throwing. He like walks in and like servers are screaming and stuff. And he's throwing out like
shards of glass in him. God, who was the artist on that? The artist that drew that. It's the guy who's like fantastic, but he's not fast enough at getting stuff turned in.
I don't remember the name on it. I mostly just remember Jeff Johns wrote it. But yeah, he comes in and he's like, say, like, I'm the chairman, you know. And at the time,
Don Kramer,
No,
Don Kramer,
no,
or Dale Eaglesham.
no, newer.
Like Mr. Terrific's the chairman of the JSA, and Hawkman comes in and is like, "Yeah, I'm taking rank, cool." And so there's like, again, like this is why it's like really more about like these different relationships between these characters, because then they kind of all get divided up and split up over what they should do next because of that. And then they go and like, because essentially like, you know, Shazam, who or Black Adam, who is introduced just as well in this, like. Literally, there's just like a guard outside a building. He's like smoking a cigarette, and then there's a panel where he like looks up, and then the next panel is literally just Black Adam's feet like hitting the ground and blood going everywhere.
Splattered the guy. You got Northwind coming by, just taking people to pieces.
He like takes them away there.
Walking up to an army, just walking through them and having them just turn their guns on each other and mow each other down. It was wild.
They're like, you know, he basically explains all that stuff that we were just talking about with Northwind, like. Basically, he can't even speak anymore because he's rapidly evolved into a bird instead of a human or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he's like in the sky, like holding a guy, and he's like, he can't even speak anymore. But it's all right. I don't need him to. And then the next thing is just like Northwind throwing the guy like out of the sky.
It is Kramer. Don Kramer.
Yeah, the artwork was good.
Nope, Rags.
There you go.
Rags Morales.
Yeah, Rags Morales.
Yeah, because I switched back over from JSA to Hawkman. I'm like, Don Kramer, he just said that one, but Rags Morales is the one I was thinking of. Yeah,
because it's like 3 issues of each of those series that make up the whole storyline. But yeah, Black Adam invaded. He's taking it back. The JSA is like not with that. Hawkman's very concerned about it because he has like the memory of like remembering, you know, like way back in the past what Black Adam was like and stuff. He's concerned about like the history of Egypt and the hierarchy and stuff there. And one thing that's really cool about this story is they do something that the movie does well, but not nearly as well as they do here, where they basically make Black Adam a hero to the people. Not just Black Adam, but his whole arsenal. Like him and his squad are there, and like people are like, yeah, like about time somebody took out this dictator, you know? And you know, so whenever the JSA does come in, like they feed what's his name? Ted Knight?
Yep.
Wildcat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they feed him and Mr. Terrific and somebody else to the people. Hourman, yeah. They're like, yeah, we're gonna give them to a higher power. Leave them with the people. And just like hang them off of a balcony for the people to take care of, and they barely get out. And Dr. Midnight, right?
Yeah,
Dr.
Midnight is there. Yeah, Hourman gets torn up.
Yeah. Which another character, like I know literally nothing about, but they like gave me plenty to understand there. I think in that first Hawkman issue, whenever they're in Louisiana, he like goes to talk to his dad and basically lays it all out on the table. And you're like, okay, I get this character now. And so it's just got like all these characters, and they do a great job of introducing them in like a single page each. And it was a lot of fun. It was a great storyline. I was pretty sure whenever he talks about like I have an inside man, and then Atom Smasher keeps going out on the balcony and like tripping balls because like he keeps hearing this voice in his head that's like you're not a bad guy, you know, like you're a hero. And he's like all like torn with himself, and he's hearing this voice, and then I think it's Mr. Terrific or somebody says like he has an inside man with Black Adam, and I was like, oh, okay. And then there's the scene where like Black Adam talks to Brainwave, and he's like, yeah, like don't be inside everybody's heads and stuff, blah blah. I was like, oh, okay, so like Brainwave is the inside man. It's like, oh no, like there's a whole nother turn to this, and like that whole play, I was like, what? There was a guy there the whole time? Didn't even realize.
You had an inside man inside Atom Smasher's head. You had Ray Palmer was piggybacking and undercover inside this man's brain the whole time, just tiny.
Yeah, and Brainwave has a ride along as well. What's his name? Mr. Mind.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know who this is, but I've heard his name before too, and this dude is a trip.
He was the little guy from the after credits of the Shazam movie.
Okay.
Or alien that can mind control.
Yeah.
Golden Age Captain Marvel villain.
He's a little tiny worm.
If you ever read Kingdom Come, you still haven't read Kingdom Come, have you?
No, I don't think I've read Kingdom Come.
That's how they get Captain Marvel to go fight Superman. They pretty much have grown up Billy Batson as a slave with Mr. Mind in his ear, and they send him out on Superman.
That scene was so good too.
History.
Whenever they have Billy Batson, and he's like, he tells Brainwave, he's like, "Yo, patch me into like Billy Batson's brain because he has him gagged, so he can't say Shazam, obviously." And as soon as he like patches into his brain, it's literally Shazam. He's like thinking it's not going to help you.
Yeah.
And like just like talks down to Billy Batson for like a whole straight like 2 pages. I was like, oh man, this is great. Like,
what about
so good.
When the JSA was kind of like planning to get ready to head out? Because with the movie coming out and with Superman's involvement, you have a lot of people saying, well, why is he going to fight Superman? Why would he fight? Well, he's been fighting Superman since he's popped back up in comics. Like that's been a thing. That's a huge thing. Of course, he fights Captain Marvel. It's just not as, for me at least, it's never as fun watching like the anti-person fight it's just the same person fighting each other.
Yeah.
I get it old. And Captain Marvel tells the teams like, y'all, look. Hawkman is the guy for the job. Like, I get it. Y'all associate me with Black Adam, but I defer to Hawkman to lead this team against a fight with this guy. I'm like, there it is.
Right.
There it is.
Yeah.
From the pages itself.
Yeah, it was good. Dr. Fate was really cool in this. Different Dr. Fate, right?
Yeah, this was Hawkman's son. This is Carter.
Yeah, much more complicated relationship than what we got out of the Dr. Fate in the movie. And it made things a lot more interesting.
The legacy of Fate. Naboo does not agree with their decision to go in and stop Black Adam. Naboo is rocking from a bigger scale here. He's like, look, dude, Adam's right.
Yeah.
Like, but he's doing it the wrong way. Yeah, I don't care. He's right. So
yeah.
And I like when we get into the helm as well, and you get to see all the other Dr. Fates that have come before, as well as Fury, who I believe is the same Fury that Helen Mirren's going to be playing in Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. If I'm not sure of that, but I'm like that's yeah. Why wouldn't that be the same Fury? Why would it? But it was cool getting to see like all the different ones, including the 90s, just Fate, who had the Ankh tattooed on his face from that short-lived 90s run, who will be featured on the cover of Justice Society #1's 90s retro cover, which I'm definitely getting. I love that era of Alan Scott when he was Sentinel as well. Yeah, I'm pumped for that. It's Mark Howard said, what book are you talking about? It's the JSA Hawkman crossover story called Black Rain that had been re-released a lot here lately. Ryan just read it, I'm assuming, on the DC Universe app. It's the story that the new Black Adam movie was heavily pulled from, including the ending, the way that it all ends, because this fight was violent. I mean, people dying on both sides. Talk about stakes in comics. Our Man's laying there with his guts hanging out, had to hit his dial and bring his dad back in and kind of switch sides with him, because that's when they were doing the nanotech stuff, Yeah. And, so Rick is just out. Like he's in the little limbo so he doesn't just die. And we got Rex back, which was cool. And by the end of it, they're like, dude, there can be no winner here. We're just going to have to call it a truce and do something different. And that's how we got the end of the movie. Like, look, we can't stop you right now, but here's the rule. You don't leave. This is your new home. This is your prison. This is what you wanted. You got it. Stay. Like, what a tough ending. And just like in the movie, Hawkman had no quit.
Yeah. I will say, okay, this is the one thing that bothered me through the whole book. I hated the Hawkman mask design in that. Like, ugh.
The movie or the book?
In the book. Like,
was it too beat out for you?
No, what I didn't like about it is they give him both a top and bottom beak. I'm like, that, I don't know. Like, it was really annoying. I like, and Hawkwoman is there, and she has like the straight, just like regular Hawk upper bill kind of design, Look fire. But him, like, they give him both a top and bottom beak, and I'm like, this is kind of annoying to look at.
That goes back to the original design. That's the way he was originally drawn when he first came out.
Yeah, I couldn't like look past it. Every single panel that he was in, I was just like, that annoys me. There is like this really great scene, right? Because one thing I really loved about this character is they're like, yo, like, you just like don't see, that looks fine. Why
Joe
didn't they do it like
Kubert
that?
drew that.
It's actually Joe Kubik.
Yeah, that's Joe Kubert did it and signed it to me and my brother in 4/25/1993.
Nice.
John and Mark, Joe Kubert. Yeah, super nice. It's like
Yeah.
a prized art piece.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a scene where basically they're like, basically people are not winning on either side of this. As he said, our man's got like all of his guts hanging out. Billy Batson's all tied up, and they're just like, why can't you see? They're talking to Hawkman. They're like, why can't you see? Like, this is not like a winning situation. Like, why don't you quit? Or like, why don't you care? I think is how they phrase it. Like, why don't you care about what's happening to your team? And he actually pulls off the mask, and you see him with tears in his eyes, and he's like, it's not. This mission is bigger than me, like this isn't about, we can't quit. Like we have to save the world right now. He's like tearing up, and it's like, yeah, like that's a great character moment. That's more of what I wanted to see in the movie, like people really showing that they are human, but that there's something bigger than them going on right now,
Yeah, they take Hawkman's like warrior spirit and they don't see through it to what he's really feeling. He's just
Yeah.
a warrior through and through. I would love a Blue Devil TV show. He made an amazing appearance and introduction in the Swamp Thing DC Universe TV show they did. They need to do something about bringing that show back. That needs to happen sooner rather than later.
I don't understand how, because it's still not on HBO Max, right?
No, because maybe it will soon because when everything is getting allocated to different places. Yeah, my pop spent that day with Joe Kubert and got that done.
Nice.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Back when all the DC Universe originals were getting allocated to places, they put Doom Patrol, Titans on HBO. They originally put Harley Quinn on Sci-Fi Channel. They put Stargirl and Swamp Thing on CW. They were just spreading their stuff out across platforms. Well, Harley made its way back to HBO Max. Stargirl was wrapping up, obviously, and Swamp Thing didn't have a second season anyway, so they premiered a PG-13, an edited version of it on the CW, which makes it's an R-rated TV show. Like, it's not excessive, but it's definitely violent. It's made for a platform like HBO Max or its own streaming service like DCU was. So I can't imagine it not making it over there. I've just went and bought the damn Blu-ray of it,
Yeah.
I've got it from Dead Media, which is like a second time around store. Like their whole inventory is whatever people bring them. I bought it. Unfortunately, the digital copy was used. I'm like, damn it. I can't watch it on the phone. But
Yeah.
it's definitely worth watching. If you haven't seen it, go find you a copy.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out. I'm just kind of surprised it's taken them this long to get it all sorted.
Yeah, Jeff Jones JSA run is legendary. Have a good night. I appreciate you stopping in. All right, guys, it's just after 10:30 here. You got anything else I want to hit on before we give away this box set of stuff? This monthly Legion Loot giveaway.
I'm good.
I want to go through these one more time to show everybody what was included in this month's Legion Loot for the channel members. We had the Big Time Collectibles books, which is that Cyber Force anniversary issue with the Miko Suyon exclusive cover homaging Hulk 340 there. We had the Spider-Man Exodus Virgin variant, the Scon variant. I forget this artist's name every time, and I've looked it up 10 times, but it's House of Slaughter number 6, the Orlando. Isn't it Orlando MegaCon where it's at, Paul?
Mm-hmm.
The MegaCon exclusive they did. The David Nakayama Virgin variant for Gwynverse. And then the gorgeous David Mack Twig number 1. I know that was a fun series. A bunch of people dug that. And then I threw in a Marvel Family Comics facsimile that just came out this past month, retelling the first appearance of Black Adam, which is super dope that they actually rushed that to print, so a lot of people weren't able to get their hands on it. So I made sure to order and pick up a few. Amazing Spider-Man Legal Burning print from none other than Legal Burning himself, number 16 of 200. And then you got the little mini one in there of the Punisher skull as well. And then we have a CGC 9.8 copy of Spawn 327 with a Spider-Man homage cover done by Todd McFarlane himself. So Todd homaging Todd. That's kind of what he does. Great. Definitely a wicked cover. So this is going to go to one lucky channel member.
And that is House of Slaughter number 6, the Kyle Hotz.
Kyle Hotz. That's it. Is it Hotz or Holtz?
Hotz,
Hotz.
H-O-T-Z.
Kyle Hotz. I appreciate that. Well, let me pull this. Cancel. Wheel of Names. And there they are. So I appreciate everybody who has joined the channel membership. There's a bunch of you guys on there. And every month I do one of these big giveaways. I do giveaways all throughout the month. Every Tuesday I try to do a new DC Day giveaway. You know, we do the subscriber milestone giveaways, just random stuff. Typically when we do the big movie review shows, I always try to have something to give away. It's just fun to give away stuff. And you know, people pay to be channel members, so I figured like that's really the best thing to do. The money is just give it right back to the channel members. So thank you all for doing that. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. You have no idea. I have no clue how this many people think what I do is valuable, but that's the biggest compliment I get is seeing how much people support the channel through the memberships, the subscriptions, just watching the video, coming and hanging out and just talking about this stuff is really the whole reason why we're here. So appreciate everybody doing that. So let's spin this thing and see who's going to win this one. And the winner of the October Legion loot goes to
Yes.
Shattered Glass Comic Views. Congratulations, Tyler. After what you did for this community, I'm very happy that you won that.
Right.
So,
That's a decision
Tyler,
to live with.
yeah, Tyler took a pair of clippers, handed them to his wife, and asked her to take his dignity, and she did it. She did. So Tyler and Lee over Whack Comics made a pledge that if it broke 20,000 for the Comics Curing Cancer event, that they would get the haircut that Scar was rocking in the She-Hulk show. Now, both of them look like Scar from the She-Hulk show. Admittedly, Lee actually looks awesome with it. He looks more Australian. I feel like he could take on Paul Hogan barefisted at this point. Tyler, on the other hand, looks like he's not allowed within 500 feet of a school. So for some reason, there's this huge difference in the way they wear that haircut. So be sure to check out Whack Comics. They did post a video of them getting the haircut and so many more since then. All right, so let's take a look at what's coming next month. I'm so excited for this. And again, that's not even all of it. This is not even all of it. So you know, I love my 90s stuff. I love my shiny stuff. It's one thing me and Paul get along with. So I'm throwing in this one right here. This is not an expensive book. It's just an amazing cover. Superman 166. I feel like McGinnis is one of those artists for me that just defined a certain era with certain characters. He did it with the Hulk. He did it with Superman. And that is just an amazing foil cover. The real truth about Krypton. So it had to get shiny. And we had to get extra shiny. So we grabbed one of those World's Finest #1 Big Time Collectibles exclusive, that convention foil right there. I mean, that's just gorgeous. And no, this is not a copy donated by Big Time Collectibles. This is one of my own. And what good is that book without the original Jim Lee that's homaging? You know, there it is, the actual book it comes from. And we're also going to throw in one of the Action Comic 1 facsimiles that came out last month. In case you've never read the first appearance of Superman, you'll have your shot right here. And they've been rocking some awesome facsimiles, so we're going with the Superman #1 as well. And just to keep it going, we got the George Perez homage to that. Like, oh my God, gorgeous. Now, all of this is being done with Superman stuff. There will be other stuff with the Big Time Collectibles donated stuff, but I wanted to go Superman because we're celebrating this 30th year anniversary of the death of Superman story that absolutely changed comics to its core. There's been very few things that have impacted comic books so heavily as this story right here, which for comic book readers, it wasn't that big of a deal, but for the world that had no idea how this all went, and this was hitting headlines, making newspapers, this was huge. So here's I think this is one of the more recent releases of it. So you can actually read the story in its entirety. And one of the books that's included in there is the first appearance of Doomsday. So we have Superman Man of Steel number 18. Give me 1 second, buddy. And then when it all wrapped up, we came back with the awesome Superman Returns White Polybag Edition. And you'll have the choice to open it up and see what's inside if you so choose. It's definitely some cool stuff with these. And then the big kicker that I'm putting in there was a black poly bag. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not giving y'all any of my black poly bags. They're actually a lot harder to find than these. But I went out and found you what's inside of it in a CGC 9.8. Now, I know Paul knows this, but if you've never searched for this book in a CGC 9.8, it's not easy. I've been after it for months, managed to get one at a fair price, and it's going in there. But this is what was in those black poly bags. Most of them are not 9.8s out there, and if they are, people don't sell them apparently. And when they do, they don't let them go cheap. But here lies Earth's greatest hero. Superman 75, January 1993, $1.25 cover price. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the platinum edition, right?
Your new book that got banned a long time ago.
That's right, he is. What's that, Paul?
That's the platinum edition.
No, this is just what's in the regular black
That's the regular.
poly bag.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think it's the same book in the platinum edition as well. They didn't change. They didn't change the book in it. It came with like that the platinum bag, and I think it had like signatures or cert in it with the platinum edition.
It was embossed, I think.
Yeah,
The one that I have is the platinum edition. It's embossed, and it comes in the same bag, except that instead of the red bleeding ass, it has a silver bleeding ass.
There you go. I need to get one of those. They're ridiculous expensive too. You can find them in good condition. It's not easy. So the regular copy of Superman 75 looks like that. That's the cover of the normal one that's not in the poly bag. But this is the one, and I posted a video not long ago of what's in the poly bag with the armband, the poster, and all that good stuff. And this is the book that's in it. But all of these books from like the Death of Superman and the Reign of Superman, they are ridiculously hard to find in 9.0s. Hey, Chip said hey. White Shadow. Also, Dale said happy birthday. It is your real birthday today, not your party day. Pops is here. He said, hey, my little buddy.
Why?
I don't know. It's what Pop said.
He said, hey, my little buddy.
Yeah, he's talking to you.
Why did he say, hey, my little buddy?
Because you're his little buddy. Did you tell him you fell off your bicycle today?
I fell on my bicycle.
Like a little gangster. So yeah, that is all going in next month's, plus the big time collectible books, plus the legal burning stuff, plus the stuff I'm picking up on Tuesday, including the John Jang variant for Son of Kal-El, plus some 30th anniversary stuff is going in there. I probably won't. I was going to say I'll probably put an issue 75 in there because we're doing the special edition issue 75s, but it's included in this. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. I doubt I will because Tuesday's going to be insane for me with all that stuff dropping. So we'll see how it goes. There might be some more shiny stuff in there. We'll see. But I've gotten an opportunity to really fan out on Superman, and it makes sense, so I'm taking it. So I appreciate all the channel members. This is my way of saying thank you to you. And if you don't like Superman, it's my way of saying learn to like Superman. What is going on? Kyle's in the chat. Promiscuous time traveler. Hey, the other Kyle said happy birthday.
Thank you, Kyle.
He said thank you, Kyle. Well, I appreciate everyone being here. You guys good?
Yeah.
Yep.
We're about to make like a baby and head out on that note. Be sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, join the Legion. Don't miss out on your opportunity for this massive Legion loot giveaway. I'm also working on the next ones and the next one and talks with DJ about our next big crossover event. So we're doing big things. We're trying to do big things to give back to everybody. Be on the lookout tomorrow. I'm going to post a video where we went to the AugustaCon today. We went to a little convention today. Are you sniffing your bicycle? You sniffing your bicycle? Okay, looks like you were sniffing your bicycle. All that good stuff. And until next time, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion. Let me find a little button to push. We'll go with this one.